Hey, Plantation Golf Club. My name is Brandon Jones. I'm here with our golf course superintendent, Chris Adams, as always. Appreciate you coming out for this,
Yes, sir.
for our little behind the curtains videos. This is episode number 5 now.
Hard to believe.
It's hard to believe, yeah.
Keep banging them out here. All right.
Love it.
Cool.
So today we're going to cover the topics of course closures, how those went,
Yes.
cleanup laps, what you've been doing around the greens and stuff with the
Of course,
mowers.
yeah.
Where we're at today, as you can see behind us, number 17 green, and we're actually sitting on the 10th green right now.
We are.
And some of the new hires that you've got.
Yeah.
And come along with us, and we'll show you guys what's going on. Hey, guys, we're back out here on number 17 green of Crane's Roost, and we're here with Chris to give us a little update of what he's been doing to get this green back in really good shape for us.
Well, the first thing you'll notice is probably my beard just getting bigger and bigger. I vowed not to cut it until we get every green filled in. But what we'll see here on 17 is something to remember is this was the worst green out of all of the greens on the golf course. And what I'm seeing here is these little sprouts coming through the sand and fertilizer as we keep going. You know, we're basically at weekly sanding and fertilizing. We try to use the closure day for that, which we'll talk more about soon. You know, and when you look at this green, we're down to just, you know, a good sized spot here, a good sized spot there. That's just kind of missing those little tufts of growth. So that's where we'll do things like you see over here with the hex plugs. You know, we can take these hex plugs, we take them from their own green just for ease of mobility so that we're not hauling back and forth all day. But you can see they're knitting together really well. You know, we just need one here, one there, and just, again, more fertilizer, more sand every single week until, you know, the same story it's been every week until we get these things full. But, you know, as much as we'd love to see this thing full wall to wall, I'm pretty happy with where it's at. I think we were going to touch base on the triplex ring while we were at it, and I call it that because the ring around the green, as some have asked about, is actually known as a cleanup cut. It's known in the scientific world as the triplex ring syndrome. If you do it too much, if you do it every single day. I actually once took over a course that had 36 dirt tracks because they just didn't know any better. Nobody prior had known. And what happens is if you do it every day, you really do start to wear this out. So in common agronomic practice, you skip that cleanup pass, you know, every certain days. And
Chris, we'd actually even talked about maybe
we
even
absolutely
doing
have
1 day a week.
We have
of just doing a cleanup lap and leaving the outer edges the way they are.
Since on a lot of these greens, a lot of the recovery is in the perimeter of the green. So, you know, it could have been, you know, that could be the reason even. So, but yeah, we did speak about that. We kind of mitigated that, and I was doing it every other cut, but I think we're down to doing it once a week now. So as a result, you're seeing, you know, the perimeter of the green get extra hairy. Well, that's because, you know, we're just not hitting it until that first week. Plus we are throwing a lot of fertilizer in these weak areas. So, you know, it is pushing it, but because a lot of the growth and recovery is in the perimeter of the green, it does make it necessary even more so to stay out of there and help it and, you know, give it a chance. Guys, we're here, number 1, Crane's Roost, the par 5, 458 yarder. Just kidding, I'm not a tour guide. But anyways, what I wanted to do is kind of touch base on, well, we touched base saying we were going to talk about new employees, and I'll bet you undoubtedly most of you have seen this. And yes, we have also seen it. You know, this is a new employee that was probably kind of left to his vices a little bit too long, admittingly. But it's a training moment. Something happened where one of his reels started scalping. Apparently didn't know to really take care of it, being new and all. Once we discovered it, we have since fixed the machine and everything's fine now. But unfortunately, a few holes kind of got away from us on this scalp pattern. And his precise assignment was tee areas and green areas. So, you know, you're not really seeing it in between. You're just seeing it around the tee boxes and greens. So, you know, he was able to kind of cut this one, move on to the green, move on to the next tee, etc. with these bizarre patterns. But we worked on, you know, it's just training. We worked on getting him to be a little bit more smooth maneuvers around the tees and greens. And, you know, obviously kind of say something if something doesn't look right, like this bad haircut here. But luckily, grass grows back quick. All right, here we are. This is the number 1 green on Crane's Roost. This one has seen better days under my watch, but an irrigation situation about a month ago had it going in the wrong way. Additionally to that, all of the greens took a good hit when we chased off the mutation. I think we talked about that in a previous video. There was a lot of mutated grass on these greens, and we were successfully able to get rid of that. And now we're back to the growing in process again. What we do with our closures is get the sand and fertilizer out. That's like our best thing to do when no one's out here because we're not disrupting. We can throw the sand, let it dry before we drag it in, and just kind of leave it out for the day, as long or for a couple hours at least. And as you can see, the thin void areas are filled with sand. But if you also can, I don't know if you can see it well on video or not, every single void is filled with growing grass. Like this is grass that is running together, and it really just takes consistent week after week sand and fertilizer. And it's a lot further than it was a month ago after it took the irrigation hit. So, it's just a matter of keep going. So I'm happy with its progress. It just, it just still needs more progress, and we need the upcoming weeks for that kind of progress. So we'll just keep fertilizing, keep sanding. While we're rolling, and we're talking about our closures, this is the #1 fairway. This one was probably the second most inundated with goosegrass, if I'm not mistaken. I know #4 was probably the worst on Crane's Roost. But if you look down the middle of the fairway, you'll see I don't know what the video looks like, but there's a brown hue. That's goosegrass that is dead. So now it's just a matter of, 2 or 3 more fairway cuts, and we'll have, that goosegrass completely, all the dead goosegrass plants will be completely swallowed up by the growth of the fairway soon enough. So that's another thing we're doing with the closure is the best herbicides that you can put on goosegrass. It takes watering in to do it. So if you can imagine, I'm spraying wall to wall, and then I need to water in wall to wall. You can imagine why being closed is very helpful to us when we do things like that. So, but that's the fruit of it. That's the results of our closures is we're able to get those weeds to die because we have opportunity to get out there.
Hey, you can spend a lot more time out here and not have to worry about play coming through.
Absolutely.
Sitting and waiting.
It's literally impossible to water when there's golfers. It's like you gotta just keep moving.
So I think it's been a huge benefit to you guys with these course closures.
100%.
To help get these golf courses back in good shape.
Get the sand and fertilizer down, get the wall-to-wall applications out, and we've even been putting some effort into the bunkers. This isn't one of them, it's been raked, but we are getting out there and hand pulling all the weeds, getting the edge reestablished, trimming the bunker faces, which is more routine than that, but while we're at it, we're doing that, and obviously raking them, framing them. But the real big thing is like getting out there and hand pulling all the weeds, because some of them, with the rains and such, have weeds in them.
Hey guys, we finally made our way back to the clubhouse here to go over our final thoughts. We started out over on 17 Cranes, went over some of the stuff that Chris was doing there, went over our course closures, went over new employees and some of the processes that you're doing there. Yep. And what kind of final thoughts you got on this?
Well, yeah, just like you said, we recapped all the things we do during a closure was a big one. All the progress, where we are with the progress on the greens is a big one. And, just understanding that it just takes more sand, more fertilizer, and that, we're taking advantage of those closures to do those things because those are pretty disruptive practices. So to do that without play is even better, especially the wall-to-wall spraying that needs to be watered in. Again, doing it without play and getting people wet is definitely the way to do that. And then just blocking the field of play for that matter. So, in addition to that, we are working our way through the growing pains of new employees. We had some of the not so good ones. We have been working at building the team as long as I've been here, and doing that means replacing some people, and that's where we're at right now. So,
and a lot of that process, is finding the guys that actually care. Right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
that wasn't planned, but it is true. Like
that take pride in their work and care about how they represent themselves, not only themselves, but Brightview, to the Plantation Golf Club.
I referenced to a new employee today to treat the sand traps like a Zen garden. Like, I mean, if you think of that bunker like a Zen garden and how like peaceful and tranquil that's supposed to be, it translates over into I'm really working on getting just some good flawless raking. And as imperfect as they are in their shaping and their edges, maybe that's a 2-3 year down the road plan.
Yeah.
But, today what we can do is at least present them well and make them look as nice as we can. So, a lot of de-weeding on them going on, I mentioned earlier. Trying to get the weed, literally having to hand pull the weeds out of there. So, but again, doing it when we're not in place so that, the guys don't have to stop every 5 seconds to, while they're trying to pull weeds.
Nice.
So,
One other thing while we came over here is kind of show you guys some of the work that our volunteers do of cleaning up this flower bed and stuff. And the
Yeah,
volunteers do a tremendous job in helping you out.
absolutely. I know I catch some of you guys, and thank you personally, but I think this is my opportunity to thank every single person who has done anything to the golf course, because that, I smile every time I drive by work done that wasn't on my team, because that's just something off my plate, something
Yep,
off my, off the checklist, because there's never nothing to do. Yeah, so there's never, there's always a plenty of work to do. So every little bit that's helped by the volunteers truly is appreciated, truly is done well too. I haven't just been like, what did they do? Like, no,
yeah,
it's been done well. Like, and I'm very thankful for that. And thank you from the bottom of my heart. I mean that.
absolutely. And while I have everybody's attention here, I want to bring up the fact that we have the Superintendent's Revenge
Yeah.
Saturday, September 27th,
Yeah.
8:30 shotgun on Otter Creek. Chris here is going to try to make your guys' lives
That's
miserable when
right.
playing it,
If you
right?
don't hate me yet, you might soon. Just kidding. Of course, you love me. But no, I wouldn't. I guess the only hints I'll give you is don't expect to tee off where you think you're going to tee off.
Absolutely.
Pay attention on where we're going to be making you hit
I
from.
love it. If you've not signed up yet, please go to the website. It's a pop up. As soon as the pop up hits, click that. It'll take you to the sign up page and get signed up and get ready to play in a super fun event.
Absolutely.
Anything else? Do what?
No pun intended.
No pun intended.
Super fun. All right.
Super fun.
That was good.
Anything else you need to add? Want to add?
Gosh, no. And then I guess thank you for all the compliments is probably the next thing I need to say. Like, my staff passes those on to me. Brandon passes those on to me. You guys tell me to my face. Those of you noticing that things are getting better each and every week, thank you. We do put a lot of effort in there, and it really feels good to know that it's being noticed.
Yeah.
So
And if you want to drop me or Chris a line directly at the end of the video, I'll always put at the end of the video our email addresses.
that's right.
And so take a screenshot of that and shoot us an email. It comes directly to us. We'll
Yep.
get that. We'll respond.
I respond to
And
most of
all the good ones, right?
them.
No. Guys, we'll wrap this up. If you have not liked our page yet, if you've not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe to the page. That way you'll get a notification as soon as we drop this video. You'll get a notification. Oh, they dropped another video. Oh, and you know what? This is episode 5.
Yeah, we're
Episode 5. We're moving along.
moving along.
So again,
Lot going
like
on.
and comment. Tell us what you think about the video, how we did on it.
Seriously.
So, all right, guys, appreciate it.